Hello YouTube. I'm going to take you on a quick unboxing tour of the complete Kato 20th Century Limited New York Central 9-car set, the 4-car add-on set, and the EMD E7A 2-pack of locomotives that are supposed to pull it. All right, first up, we'll take a look at the locomotives. These are the EMD E7A 2 locomotive set. You can see the numbers there on top. I'll go ahead and open this up and show you what you get. If you know anything about Kato products, you know that all the locomotives come in this typical jewel case. Good and snug fit as you'd expect if you know Kato's work. The locomotive itself is just beautiful. I'm not really familiar with the E7s or most of the EMD line of this style, but I was really impressed with these on the internet before I ordered this set, and when I got them, still impressed. These are really nice locomotives. I'll pop it out real quick and show you up closer. Detail on these is just exquisite. Kato went all out with brand new tooling for the locomotives. So the trucks are new, everything is new, body shells are new, everything is new, which is really nice. Graphics, crisp, all the nomenclature, crisp, detail parts, very crisp. Detail pieces up on top and detail segments. Most of it molded in, except of course the air horns I believe are removable. Just really nice locomotives. The lightning bolt scheme, really crisp. Underside, you'd expect it to be, you can excuse them from being a little bit bland here, but still, just excellent work. If you are a longtime collector of Kato products, you know they make good stuff and they're just getting better, putting more work and effort into their details. I've got a little stretch of Kato Unitrack here to show you how it looks when it's lit up and running. This won't be a very high speed run because it's a short piece of track, but still you can see, if I go the wrong way, you see the headlight nice and bright. Not quite the pure white LED of the modern locomotives, but also, which is really nice to me, not the pure amber, which I personally do not like in my locomotive headlights. I do prefer more of the incandescent look for certain locomotives or the pure white LED. But you can still see that number boards light up. Everything looks really sharp on the locomotive. If I was running on a bigger piece of track or I had more space to show you, I could really let you know how it lights up. But if you have Kato locomotives, you know that what they want to light up, it gets lit up. All right, now I'll show you the 4-car add-on set. I'm going in reverse order in terms of the set pieces. I'm going first with the 2-piece locomotive, now the 4-car add-on set, and then I'm going to finish it out with the big main 9-piece set. But first up, if you're not familiar with how Kato does their passenger set packaging, or their set packaging by itself, as this kind of fights me a little bit, you know they like to have their cars set in nice styrofoam holders. with these clear plastic shields over them, which really nice insulation, really good to keep them in place while they're moving from one spot to another. But you can see these cars all just lying there in the styrofoam. All the details very crisp. All the tooling looks just magnificent. And if I take one of these sleepers out, the camera focus here, there we go. You see everything about this car looks really nice. The undercarriage details and the underframe details, very, very sharp. Truck detail, very crisp. Everything about these cars looks just incredible. I've got a number of Kato passenger sets, and I was really impressed when I opened these up the first time to see what's what. One change, though, it seems like to me, is that the side where the light kit gets installed, that is an open gateway. Not really a big problem, because as long as you put the body shell on correctly after you install your light kit, if you buy the version that does not have a light kit pre-installed, you're not going to get excess light bleed, because that's going to be blocked by the car elsewhere in the consist, and also by the frame of the light, the LED light itself. So now we come to the main set, the 9-car main consist for the 20th Century Limited. Packaging for this, again, if you know anything about the Kato passenger sets that are these larger passenger consists or that have been reissued in the last few years, you've seen Kato do this kind of packaging before, where they have description down in there, really nice graphics, and also you see on this, as in the bottom corner of the box, got some pieces of display unit track that comes with it, which is a nice little detail. Now we'll pop this bad boy open and we'll see what we have inside. All right, here we go. Once again, as per usual, Kato is using these large styrofoam trays where each individual car has its place. And as always, there is a plastic shield that goes over the top of it. If you're someone who's new to collecting Kato, or maybe this is your first set, or you want to get into Kato passenger trains, I personally do recommend you keep that plastic shield. Do not discard it, because it is a really nice way to help just keep your cars in place during transit, keep dust out of it, and just keep these gorgeous, gorgeous models looking beautiful at all times. And you can see right away the detail on each of these cars. They did an incredible job with the tooling. All of these cars, this is all brand new tooling. If you know anything about Kato sets in the past, they used the same tool and die essentially for, I couldn't even tell you how many passenger sets. The previous edition of the New York Central, the first run of the Southern Pacific Daylight series, for example, I think they did the same tool and die with the version of the California Zephyr and Santa Fe, Baltimore and Ohio, Illinois Central, just a ton of sets that they use the exact same tooling for. Because some friends of mine who, if you see my videos, who are building that, who have built, more accurately, who have built that large N-scale layout that I have other videos up of, they have a number of Kato passenger sets, and I've installed them. I've worked with them to install lighting kits, and all of them have done about 90 or 100 light kit installs for them across their passenger sets. Well, and my passenger sets as well. And it was all the same stuff, but now Kato is up in their game. They're doing new things, new tooling, more train-specific tooling. So a lot of really, really great detail. One car I want to single out for extra attention to detail is the United States mail car that comes with this set. All the detail pieces are pre-installed, which is really nice. So if you were someone who's been modeling these trains for a long time, you know that the oldest editions of these trains, and even some of the reissues, I think, came with detail pieces such as the postal mail grab handle here, or bag grab. I'm not sure what you call that, honestly. That was a piece you had to install yourself. But now they just come pre-installed, which is super nice. So Kato, thank you for doing that. This is a 6 axle car, as you see here in the underside. Let me get that centered up in the camera for you guys. All new tooling on these trucks. This is all brand new to hold these wheels in place and make it more prototypically accurate. So this is not a reissue in any capacity of any previous edition of a Kato train. If you have the original Kato New York Central set that you can still find on eBay for heinous prices, this is completely new. Nothing about this set is reissued or reused. This is not a redo of a previous train release. It's all new. All the tooling is new, all the modeling is new, everything about it is new, which is really, really nice. Another car that I want to spotlight is the Observation. If you have Kato trains from issues past, or editions past more accurately, you know they used this very similar, essentially they used the same Observation modeling, see if we can get this to focus better for you guys, for a number of sets. But this, to get those large windows, they went to the drawing board, put together a brand new mold, and the result is just gorgeous. Here you see the, as with all these cars, you have that gap in the side where the light kit gets installed. But again, that won't matter once the light is in there because it'll be facing that way and not going that way, blasting in front of your train with light bleed. See if I can get that drum head visible. But right here, you've got that 20th Century Limited drum head. And now, one feature that Kato did put into this particular car is it does come with an LED light pre-installed to light up the rear light there and also the drum head, as well as the observation section by itself. So this car, if you don't buy the pre-lit version of this set, this will need an extra LED kit installed up here in the front. To celebrate the significance of this particular train and this edition of it and all the work they put into it, Kato includes with the 9-car set this special edition re-railer. This is painted up to match the 20th Century Limited red carpet that they actually used for boarding. So this is a really nice little detail that they didn't have to do, but the fact that they did it, really appreciate it, because it just shows that Kato takes their work very seriously to include something as simple as this in this brand new train. And it's just a wonderful little piece to have that goes with it. It makes it more special, and it also brings a little piece of history of it brings a piece of railroading history to life for those of us who only get to experience this in models and kits and things of that nature. So we actually get to have a bit of a red carpet treatment for this brand new train. So we just run that on there. And now I'll show you guys how this looks. Let me get some power on it. I purposely did this video in a dark room so that I could show you this particular car in all its lit up glory, and this car is just magnificent. The fact that Kato added a specific LED by default in this car with all additions, this is not special edition, this is with all additions, this light comes pre-installed, is a really, really wonderful extra little piece of detail that Kato did not have to do, but they did it to make sure that no matter who you are, you do get to experience this lit observation section. And those little marker lights right there, having them pre-lit just really sets this off. And that drum head is big and bright. You can't really see the 20th, there you can. You can kind of see the 20th Century Limited graphic on there. It's crisp, it's clean, it's clear, it's beautiful. And just having that on there just already ready to go, it's a really, really great deal. So thank you, Kato, for doing that. All right, as a bit of a bonus, I'm going to talk about why I think personally that Kato is offering the 20th Century Limited as a standalone set, but also, as a train that comes without light kits installed through all the cars, and why they come installed or with light kits pre-installed. And that is because, based on my experience with the Kato Pullman double-decker passenger cars that they came out with, I believe, in mid-2019, the tooling on those made those cars incredibly tight, and it was very difficult to get the shell off of the frame to install the light kit myself. So I can only assume that the tooling for this particular set is the same way, in that the frame and shell connection is going to be very snug. If you have any sort of concern that you might damage your Kato body shells for these sets, I personally would recommend that you buy the pre-lit option. It is much more expensive to get all three sets, the 2 locomotives, the 9-car main set, and the 4-car add-on set. It comes out to about $550 to $600 depending on where you source it from, whether it's the internet, local hobby shop, whoever. But if you wanted to add lighting pre-installed, the cost goes up to, I think, around $700, maybe even $750. Don't quote me, I didn't fact check, so I'm just estimating, because each individual light kit that Kato sells, they retail. The individual set is about $6 to $8 depending on your hobby shop or where you source it from, and they are the individual light kits are the 11-211 part number. I personally like to source the 6-packs, the 11-212 set, and as you can see here, my local hobby shop, they retail for $60 for 6 pieces. So I guess that would mean that in an individual one of those would be more like 10 or 12, maybe even closer to 15, depending on where you get it from. So the 6-packs, in my opinion, have more value, maybe a little bit less expensive. So that'd be my recommendation if you're going to light it yourself. But if you are concerned that this might be hard to work with, I recommend getting the pre-lit version. But I'm going to see if I can get the shell off, if it comes off easily. This is a surprise, folks. I was not expecting to have the body shell separate from this frame that easily, but again, just really delicately. And the frame separates. I am astonished. Personally, that is a huge surprise. I thought for sure this was going to be tough. That was easy. So I am super glad to be wrong in that regard. So, all right, maybe you don't need to buy the pre-lit version if you want to light it yourself. So I have learned something, folks. And if you know how to do lighting installs for Kato, you know these little brass contact strips, they just go right into these little notches. Just give them a little tap in there. And then the LED. Get that centered up for you guys. Let's see if I can do this freehand while looking through a camera. Doesn't look like it. That would also help too. Okay. Now let's see if I actually got, get that contact set up on there. Okay. Now this light, I didn't realize, but I have actually got one of Kato's little filters on it. I will probably end up taking that off because I personally do not prefer the filtered LED light with my Kato trains. I like the brighter LED. That's my personal preference. But of course, some people, because of how harsh LED can be, they do prefer the filtered light to give more of an incandescent look to fit the period. Either way works. It's strictly your preference. I'm just sharing with you mine. Now let's see if I can get the... I'm doing this the wrong way. I'm sorry, folks. I'm used to the old style of doing it. Whereas the older kits, they needed you to install these diffusers in the shell first, but the newer kits, they basically, they just sit right up on there, and you can see diffuser right there. But before I put that shell back on, let's just make sure that I've got good contact. And there it is. Lights up, spreads that light nice and evenly. Looks pretty good. Now let's see. Let's get this shell back on there. And I hope I got this on the right direction, but I think we'll be all right. And these just snick right back into place. Now let's see how it looks. And there it is. Nice, bright LED light. And I'm honestly, this filtered version doesn't look too bad. I still may go back in there and take that filter off just to get a little bit more of a punch out of the LED. But you can see right there that everything about this looks really, really nice. Good, bright light from the Kato LED light kit. Everything about it good and sharp, crisp. All the windows do have a light coming through it. There's no bleed. Yeah, a little pinhole right there, but that's not a big deal. It's just a piece of the door frame right there. That's not too big of a deal. And the same thing on that side. That's the only any kind of light bleed I can see, and that's so negligible and in scale that I don't think anyone's going to be really too concerned about it. If you are, well, there's ways to fix it. But anyway, that is a light kit install for the baggage car on the 20th Century Limited New York Central set. Maybe it's possible the other cars might be more difficult to work with, but that one was a surprise how fast it went, so I hope they're all that way. I guess we'll find out down the road. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you down the tracks.